Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 60. When we last left our heroes, Jalal versus Gears happened. It was kind of weird. Gears' magic was never really fully described, fully explained to me adequately. But over the course of the fight, Jalal's brain was, his consciousness was frozen, which allowed Altair to show up and give him the strength he needed to win. I think through his love for Urza. I think it was really vague. But yeah, the important thing is the Gears is down, leaving just Godseed Alderaan and Wolfen, who I think didn't actually die when he left the scene. So yeah, let's jump right on into Chapter 60, Gigantify! And both the title and this cover picture of Gajeel in like a worker's outfit, I don't know the term for it. It speaks of the promise of Chapter 58's Gajeel and Brandish scene. Nothing suits a wild man like iron. Before we do that, time to check in on Godseed Alderaan, as Dragon Alderaan roars at the defeat of Gears, and the Godseed takes it in. Even Gears has fallen. Natsu looks at him. Have humans grown this powerful over the centuries? Natsu asks him, are you a dragon who hates humans? I have no feelings whatsoever towards nutrients, nor do I have a need for nutrients with such power. So now we're seeing a bit of Alderaan's true intentions. He just sees humans as, like, to feed his roots. You know, like a tree feeding on a decomposing body. But Natsu asks, nutrients? I built towns upon my body and absorbed the life force of the humans living there. By doing so for generations, I was revived. Natsu asks him, if you keep fighting, won't you lose those nutrients? I no longer need them. With this power, I will consume the other dragon gods. And he does this weird thing with his hands. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be about. I shall start with you, brother of Ignia. Now we're seeing a thing there. True, we both have the same dad, but Zeref is my only brother. Oh, okay. There's that Natsu-Zeref bond there. Alderaan sets out another blast, this time even more visible, now with 3 of the Godseeds dead. And Natsu very easily gets out of the way as the blast, like, blows up part of the wall behind him. There it is. I can see attacks I couldn't before. The Godseed's destruction may have somewhat weakened my magic, but it is still powerful enough to kill you. In addition, Alderaan commands the power of life. In time, the Godseeds will also revive. My strength will be restored again. That's not good. I sure hope Giant Gajeel can put a stop to him before too long. Not if I beat you first! Natsu then, runs at Alderaan, and he does another thing with his hands. That is impossible for a human. Leaf Tempest, and he sets up this whole tornado between him and Natsu. Natsu jumps out of the way. Leaves? Aren't those weak to fire? Fire dragons roar! And the flames get caught up in the tornado, the leaves come out of it unscathed, shocking Natsu. And then he gets hit by the full force of the tornado. Wah! There are leaves in this world that do not burn. But Natsu kind of rights himself, gets some flame in his hand. Out of the way! And he does some kind of twirling thing with his hands, it looks like. And he gets right up to Godseed Alderaan, who punches Natsu in the gut. Gah! And Alderaan just kind of glares at him. But Natsu comes back to himself, and I think he hits the ground and kind of does this, dash to the right. And then he goes for... I'm trying to make heads or tails of this panel here. It looks like he goes for a kick. Okay, he goes for the kick, and Alderaan blocks it with his wrist. Then he goes for a punch that Alderaan blocks again, another punch, another block. You believe you can defeat me in hand-to-hand combat? Your attacks cannot hit. Natsu goes for a step, and Alderaan continues, your attacks cannot hit me, right as Natsu, smacks him upside the face. And Alderaan looks shocked. They can. This is something happening outside? Oh, and now we cut back to Giant Gajeel versus Alderaan, already in progress. Everything I've ever wanted to see right there. And all of the fairy tale wizards have left Alderaan and now on the ground just like cheering him on. Go get him, Gajeel! Kick his ass! Yeah, left hook! Woo! And Levy is just like stone faced. And Lucy comes up to her. You don't need to laugh like that. But he's just so big. And Gajeel goes for another punch on Alderaan. Alderaan headbutts Gajeel. And Lucy turns to Brandish. If anything, you should have made him even bigger. As expected, even my magic can't make him any bigger than that. Besides, that's his max size. He only has 3 minutes till it runs out. Why didn't she also try to shrink Alderaan, though? Like, she can both expand and minimize, so why not make Gajeel real big and then Alderaan real small? Maybe god dragons are just too powerful for that. But either way, I don't know why it's expected that there's like a limit to her magic. I mean, I guess it makes sense. There's eventually a limit to her magic. But like, that's his max size. I don't know what that's supposed to be about. I don't know. Anyway, the important thing is Gajeel has 3 minutes before time runs out. And Gray kind of like is shocked. 3 minutes? And Juvia yells out, Gajeel-kun, you have only 3 minutes left. And that's, I feel like, the closest we've had to a Juvia-Gajeel friendship moment in a long time. Which is a shame, because I love their friendship. But anyway. Kana snaps at Brandish. You mean he has only 3 minutes to beat that huge thing? And Brandish like freaks out. Eve, I'm sorry. And Lucy looks. I almost called her Rebecca there for a second. But Lucy looks confused at Brandish. And Brandish realizes like how outsized her reaction was to that. And she like collects herself. You just reminded me of Aquarius for a sec. Yeah, I bet. But anyway, Rebecca. I did it. I did it actually that time. Lucy looks up. 3 minutes. And Gajeel goes for another punch. Take that! And everyone just kind of... Oh, these are the guys who are still... These are the C-listers who are still on the town... on one of the Alderaan towns. Who all of a sudden see the giant Gajeel. What is that? It's Gajeel, I guess. Gajeel got gigantified! And Carla looks up. What is going on? Happy's kind of like shaking. I don't know, but... It's better if we get out of here. And all the ground starts to like crack around them. Wah! Eek! And now Urza sees Gajeel. Gajeel? Loctus looks up. What the hell? I always thought he looked like a monster, but... And Urza looks at him. You of all people? And then Urza puts 2 and 2 together. He can't be fighting Alderaan, can he? And just then, Alderaan's eyes shine. And these roots come up from out of the ground. And they start to like pierce Gajeel in his chest, his arms, all over the place. And Levy cries out, Gajeel! But just then, Gajeel turns to Iron, and he kind of like flexes for a bit, and all of the roots like get destroyed. That trick won't work on Iron! And he smashes Alderaan's head to the ground. The ground cracks around him. Everyone is sent flying in the Rebel, or at least the outside, the Team Lucy all get sent flying, all like tries to survive the Rebel. We also see some damage done where Happy and Carla are, and even in the chamber where Natsu and Godseed Alderaan are, they feel the rumbling. The Godseed looks at Natsu. I see now. You humans. Sorry. Wrong time for a cough right there. I see now. You humans. So you wish to anger a god? Then allow me to show you the thicket of arms. To be continued next time. Alright, this was a fun-ass chapter. Like, the first bit we get is, you know, Natsu versus Alderaan. And it's just kind of fine, you know. There's a little bit of Natsu... what seems to be Natsu starting to outplay the God Seed. And of course, it's actually not. It's actually a result of Gajeel doing all the heavy lifting. Good for him. But we do get a little bit of like what exactly Alderaan wants, and it's just like he doesn't see humans as living. He just sees them as like an energy source, which makes sense for a plant, I guess. If he is the wood dragon, that does kind of track. Though we do know there is something of a time limit. Both Gajeel's 3 minutes, though that might get bumped up if we also throw in Dragon Slayer Loxus into the ring. Maybe. Probably not Wendy. Wendy's very much beat up right now. But Loxus might still have some strength to fight. Though he also did fight Urza to the point where he was knocked out. But he's had some time to like rest afterwards. Whereas Wendy, the last time we saw her, it's like she has exactly enough magic for one enchant spell. So I think she's in a bit of a worse state than Loxus right now. But anyway, just the image of everyone like watching the gigantic Gajeel, so good. Especially like in the moments where the people who are still on the dragon just like having no clue what's going on. I love. Is it maybe Loki who gets is Gajeel? I guess. That's just there's something about like the nonplusness of that. I love that so much. And then of course Urza is just like, really? Is that what's going on right now? Gajeel's fucking huge today. And then yeah, it looks like Gajeel kind of has the upper hand over the dragon. Though the God Seed threatens us with the Thicket of Arms. I've read that as Alms originally. It's actually Arms. I'm dumb. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what that's about next time. So that's kind of all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!